Hello, Flosstube. How is it going? Over here, in my world, it's going fantastically. So, welcome to another Flosstube Weekly Update with me. I am Annie. I am Joy-Filled Stitcher. That's kind of my handle here on YouTube, as well as on Instagram. And we are tuning in tonight to Flosstube number 36. My Flosstube numbers are closely approaching my age now. It's becoming very mature, unlike me. Anywho, tonight is Friday, January the 24th, 2020, and best thing today is that 8 amazing years ago, my joy-filled little one was born. Today is her birthday, so I am coming to you a bit later on this evening because she got to pick where we went to go have dinner, her and I, and then we invited grandmother because grandfather is out of town and daddy is at work. And so we got to pick where we went to go, and then we went and picked up last minute party items at the Party City. And tomorrow morning is her party. So she is in there right now. I can kind of hear her. I've got the monitor turned really, really low. But she's singing Feliz Cumpleaños aquí, which is happy birthday to you in Spanish. I'm pretty proud mama there. So, what else is awesome? What else has been going on? Well, one thing is, I'm loving this. Okay, so I am one that when I pause, I would go like up here, so I get real close to the screen like that, and I'd be like, as I started my videos. Well, I was like, there's got to be a better way. Well, apparently there is, and it is this little remote. Looks like my old-timey car clicker, but this activates my shutter. And so I can sit back and relax and click my shutter, and it goes boop boop and tells me it's ready to film. And then when I'm ready to be done, I can hit it again. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I've got it over here by me. My beverage, I'm trying to keep it from falling off the table because I will need it. Beverage of choice in my big giant Yeti is tap water. Very clean Fort Worth tap water. I have my show notes. This is my Artist Design notebook by Flosstube and Stitch notebook, which I keep all of my Flosstube notes in. And so let's get started on this lovely Friday evening. So the first thing I have to share, this is the longest short week ever at work. We had Monday off, which was nice. It was my dad's birthday. We went to lunch with him, and I had some time to stitch, which was fantastic. We had a great weekend. We went and I went to the Stitch Niche, which is my local LNS, last Saturday. I went ahead and picked up the new kit for the Stitchalong, and I was going to try to make it on Sunday for their first Sunday Stitchalong. I could not. I didn't have adequate childcare, and I did not think that Joy-Filled Little One would enjoy sitting at the Stitch Niche for 3 hours while I stitched and chatted with all the fun folks. So I hope that I can make it to one of their other ones. It's at the end of it's the last Sunday of the month. But I did get a tiny start on that in spirit on Sunday. I was back at work on Tuesday. Tuesday, Wednesday were awesome. Thursday was fantastic. Joy-Filled Little One spent the night with grandparents last night, with grandmother. And so I trucked on out back to the Stitch Niche twice in 1 week, in one calendar week. I was like, yeah. And there's a very big, amazing, truly spectacular reason as to why I trucked out there. That is because Gary of the Sunshine Stitchers was at my LNS. And I'm going to tell you, I about fell on the floor because he knows who I am. What? In what world does Gary of Sunshine Stitchers know me? Anywho, it was pretty hysterical because I went over to like give him a hug, and there was this glass shelf right here that had hooked up paper clips like that were to holding charts at some point, but they were reorganizing. I might have gotten stuck to like 3 of them, my sweater. I was like trying to make a cute first impression. No. It's just not in my character. It's just not who I am. I had to get full on stuck. I thought it was 1. He lovingly came over and extricated me from the first one. And I went, I'm still stuck. I had at least 1 more that I was stuck to. And I try, you know, and I even had 2 projects, neither of them in GaRon. GaRon. I asked him, how do you pronounce it? And he told me, and I think I still did it wrong. I even wrote it in my phone, like phonetically. GaRon. I had nothing in a GaRon bag. I felt like such a sucker. And I have so many there. I could see like at least 10 of them. But no, I had to take projects. And the first project I took in, I was like, I'm going to work on hoity-toity because I've got it for a project this week, a challenge this week. I looked at it and I went, I don't even know where to begin. I'm on page 2. Long Dog has overlaps on both pages. I was like, I can't. And so I had another project and I went and switched it out. I might have purchased things both times I was at the LNS, but it was far less than I normally would. So I do have a little stashy stash to share in a minute. And I've got some projects I worked on this week. So, but oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And I met some other fantastic folks, and quite a number of them are going to the retreat in April. And so I'm excited to see some of them. And so I was sitting at a table with Gary, and then with Nancy was right next to me. And then on this side was Sonia. She's precious. Oh my gosh. She's amazing personality. And then Maria was sitting there, but she helps at the Stitch Knit, so she was kind of up and down and up and down. And then Kim, who is one of the owners, was sitting across from me. And then later on, I think Donna came and sat, and then there was a whole nother table with some other ladies who were chatting. Tamara was over there, and I'm forgetting folks' names. I think Kathy was one who was over there, and so much fun. And Gary enabled me because he had one of his finished. He had 3 finishes that he had done since Monday, and he had another one he was going to get finished. And by the way, we have fabric twins because I had purchased a piece of fabric on Sunday and left this long, skinny 9-inch piece of it. He was working on a berry on it, and I was like, we have shared fabric. So I thought that was really cool. And it was one that he shared today. It was it was one of the berries he did. I don't know what the actual name of it is, but it has a little bumblebee and it says honey. Something about honey, and he did red roses. And super fun. He caught an error in the chart in the symbols that were swapped. He almost ended up with green roses on it. And he caught it. I was like, you go you, because I would have done it and been like, green roses, what? But anywho, so that was a fun little diversion. I wish I could make it more on Thursdays to stitch over there. Those ladies are awesome. I know a lot of them end up there most Thursdays. I think there were a few extra folks there because Gary was there. I know that he's posted a lot of pictures with some other ladies who popped by during the day. I also know Shelia was there on Tuesday, and so I miss Shelia. Hi, Shelia. She said she watches me, and I was like, what? So, highlight of my week, and I only turned 87 shades of red when I got attached to the shelf. Did rip my sweater though. It was a nice one too. So anyway, let's get to talking about some stitchy things. I had a finish this week. I'm very excited about my finish this week because it is a Whip Go piece. It is not a January piece for Whip Go. It is one that is on my Whip Go board as a finish, and so I'm very excited that it got finished. And that is Lizzie Kate's My To-Do List. And I love this chart. I did a complete color conversion. This is on 18 count. Color in Cotton Aida. In Sea Breeze, I believe is the color. I'm excited about this finish. And I already have an idea how to FFO it. So there it is. It is finished. So it says, my to-do list for today. Count my blessings, practice kindness, let go of what I can't control. Listen to my heart, be productive yet calm, and just breathe. And it has some cute little bees and a little bluebird up here. This might be one of my favorite details. I stitched this when my daughter was at the dentist on Monday. This is a floss by Barbaral Creations that it was sent to me as a freebie. This is one length of that floss. So it goes from this pink all the way to a light purple. Let me show you that. This has been living in a Love You More Studio Co pouch. So that pouch is going to have to find a new project. Let me roll this up real quick. And so my color palette has been with some classic color work, some Weeks dye works, Victorian motto. I've already pressed this, and so I had it all like rolled up because I feel like it keeps it the least amount creased. Ship's Manor. Yes, I actually stitched with the weeks and it wasn't terrible. But let me show you this Barbara Creations. Here it is. She calls it just rainbow. I don't know if it's readily available in her shop, but let me show it to you. I do have it bobbinated, so it's not great, but you can see it has all the way from pink to like orchid. So it's a rainbow, but it's not a primary rainbow, if that makes any sense. So this was my palette. I super enjoyed this piece. It was actually a fairly quick stitch when I sat down and focused on it. I think when I calculated, I only spent 1 day on it in 2020, and I think I started it July 5th of 2019, and I think I only spent 6 days on it. So 7 total for a finish, and I finished it on Monday, on 1/20. So I hope to have an FFO on this and show that to you all next week. So I was excited about that. That's one that's already marked off on my WhipGo, even though it hasn't been called. All right, so then I did have one brief new start, and that is the Stitchalong piece. And I just realized that I don't have the cover image. So I'm going to get to use my remote. And also, you know what? Why don't, while I'm grabbing the box that it came in that has the piece, the image, I'm going to pop in a photo of me and Gary and the gang right here. If I remember. Yes, I will. So hang tight. All right, so I'm loving my new remote because I don't have to be like, I'm really close to the camera. No, I'm not. No, I'm really close to the camera. Anyway, so this is Stitch Stitch picked this. I believe that when I was at the shop Thursday, Kim was sharing that there's actually only like one other LNS I think that carries this chart. It is by Milady's Needle, which is Gloria Moore, and it's called May Health and Peace Attend Your Days. So it is a sampler, and this is what it looks like when complete, and I love it. It's so unique. It's not super involved, and we were able to pick whether we wanted it in Auvera Soie or DMC. I chose DMC, and then we could choose our count of linen, and I think our choices were 36 and 40. It may have included 32. I chose 36, and it is on Weeks Dye Works Parchment. And this is the color palette. So really rich, beautiful tones. And this is my start. So I did a center start, that's the and that's the end of the word health. And I do have this in a gigantic Q-snap, which is kind of unyielding. I will probably size this down. I need one more 8x8, and then I can Frankenstein another one. This is actually living in a So Much to Love big bottom bag that I got off of Stash and Load a while ago, but it fits the 11x11. It's the gusseted style, and this was a steal of a deal now seeing what these bags cost. So I thought it fit. I had it. It had a kitted project in it, so I went ahead and stuck this one in there. So that was the fun new start. And the goal, I think, is to finish before or at the end of June, I think. We'll see. I did put some more into my last week's Barbara Anna Bam project, which is Needlework. And this is on a piece of 32 count. Picture This Plus an Oaken, and I am stitching it with the Mystery Silk from the Color and Cotton Harvest Halloween box. And I put in quite a bit more since over the weekend, I feel like. So I have I finished out Needlework. I finished the other bottom of this motif. This motif is off. I don't know how. This needle is off. I don't know how. I wasn't going to fix it, and then I started the bird. And so there's another bird, and then there's a pair of scissors they're holding, and then 2 buttons. So this actually worked up pretty quickly, and it was fun to pull out. I think I worked on this at lunch one day, maybe. At work, maybe. I'm not sure. So anywho, this one's coming along. On Monday, I spun my wheel and got a different Barbara Anna Bam project. And the one that I spun was so fitting for this week because since was my daughter's birthday this Friday, I spun the one I am converting for her. So this is Barbara Anna's Witch Ride. And this is, I think, readily available now, but this was originally in the 2018 fall issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. I am doing a conversion on this because my daughter's favorite stuffed animal, and has been her stuffed animal since like she was in the NICU, that animal was with her stuffed animal, is a baby pink mouse that she calls Baby Mousy. And so I converted her, the skin tone from the witch to like porcelain like she is, and then blonde hair, and then I shortened the nose by 1 stitch, so instead of a witch's nose it's kind of a more normal nose, not a witchy long nose. And then I changed the mouse to pink and some of the other details. So this is where I am so far. The mouse is missing his eye. This is on 18 count Murmur from Picture This Plus. I am going to do a little bit of back stitching around the face and also around the mouse. I just have not gotten to that yet. Gary told me I should, and I said, okay, I will. Excuse me. I'll drop your bag on the floor. So, because I wanted to know what I was working on next week, and plus I wanted to share it with you, I went ahead and spun for this coming Monday. And so I'm going to work more on this weekend, but I did spin Funky Bird. So poor Funky Bird that only had 10 stitches on the day it got started and nothing else since will get worked on. Alright, I spent quite a significant amount of time on my daughter's other piece, trying to get it done for her birthday. It didn't happen, but I didn't get her birthday one last year until like a week or so later. She's cool with it. And that is Letters from Nora Corbett, and it's V Fairy. And I am doing a color conversion on this as well. And I have started beading. So I put in, and this one actually has one of my new Ollie Block Ollie dots on it. I finished out filling in the V. I finished stitching her wings, and yes, they are charted differently. At first I was like, did I do something wrong? No, they are charted differently. I put in all the back stitching around her skin tone, as well as the metallic stitching in her wings. That's Petite Treasure Braid. The strands that are going to be holding her strings of beads, this is also Petite Treasure Braid in a different color. And then as you can see, I've put in some beads. That was the initial reason I went to the Stitch Niche last Saturday, was I wanted to pick out beads because I was doing a conversion. I didn't know if the ones that were charted would even look good. So I picked out, these are kind of a really pretty sea glass color, and these will be featured here. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 strands, like a swag. I got big, I think they're kind of, I got 2 choices for these larger beads. I want to wait and see. I got some pinky beads, I think, for there's a few that dot the end of the wings, so that's why I kind of like this metallic with that. And then there's these big swags that she holds, and those are in these really pretty kind of a pinky purple orchid, but they look almost like chrome or metallic, and they are similar to this pickled beet, and those will be throughout. So far I'm liking beading, I suppose. I did put in the crown, and then I stopped because I realized once you kind of start a string of beads, you kind of have to stop. You have to kind of have to get to a stopping place. So I finished the crown. And then 2 things that I purchased, and I'm not counting these as Stitch from Stash because they're necessary supplies with the pieces I'm doing that require beading, is I wanted some kind of a beading mat attack. I know some people use a tacky bob. Well, I found this one. It's called Beadsmith, and this was on Amazon. And it's made out of the same kind of materials that like a TENS pad is, you know, that you use if you're doing like electrode therapy, like if you have a bad back. But I tried it out, and it is just tacky enough to hold the beads, but not so tacky you can't get them off. And actually one review said that they used it and they actually stuck it to their arm as they were working. I was like, no thank you. No thank you. But I have enjoyed that, and so this was an Amazon. I will link it below. It will be probably, I may put an affiliate link, I may not. But I bought that on Amazon. The other thing I bought, because I was noticing my bead cases were popping open, is this bead case. And this is Bead Storage Solutions by Elizabeth Ward. Let me take this out. It comes with bead labels. But what it is a tray. And these are all small little containers. I have one pulled out. I think it goes this way. I have one pulled out here. That's the one that currently is housing the beads that are open. So my thought is each time I open a bead, I will put them in one of these containers. And then ultimately this will hold all my beads. And then you can use the labels to tell you what they are. And they hold a lot. Like one of those Mill Hills that has, the tiny little ones, it barely fills this up. So, I mean, I think this is great, especially if you have like a lot of one variety. And they have two different of these. They have this one that has like 84, 86 of this size. And then they have one that's got like 45 because it's got a bunch of these small ones. And then some that are double stack, some are triple stack. So, I thought this was a great deal. I am, like I said, not counting it Stitch from Stash because it is a tool. So that was a little bit of stash. Alright, I also put in some time into this is one of my January Whip Go pieces. This is my Prairie Schooler Christmas Tree Farm, which I am doing. This is a color conversion kind of a week. And this lives in my GaRon Tottenbags, my red truck Christmas Tree Farm. I mean, I think it fits perfectly. And this is on a piece of 18 count from Under the Sea Fabrics in Ice Princess. And I got quite a bit more done. I think I went over the 300 I needed for the task. Finished out the rest of the roads. The whole road is in. I put in a cute little bunny down here. I put in this little walkway. And then I did this tree, and this tree, and this tree. No, I'm sorry. I did this one, this one, this one, the bunny, and finished out the rest of the road. So this one's trucking along. It will not be done by the end of the month, but I am going to definitely slot it for a task next week. And so that will get me even more. So I was pleased. I'm enjoying that project. I will be sad when it's over. I pulled out one I haven't had out in a while, a Diddly Daddle Designs bag. And this was my New Year, New Start. This is Long Dog Samplers, Count Your Blessings. And I do have one of my floss buddies. And this is one of the Tula ones that I ordered from Karina. And as you can see, I put all my Gentle Arts. There are, I think, 13 colors for this project. So I have 12 in here and one in the back. And this is on a piece of 18 count Aida. Oh, this is an Aida week. From Picture This Plus in Sterling. And so I finished out the rest of the Bayberry color on this like chinoiserie vase. And then I started in, I want to just try a different color. And so I added in some of this really pretty, this is Gentle Arts Tropical Ocean. I am doing this as called for. It is all Gentle Arts sampler threads. And love this piece too. I was bummed I hadn't had it out, and I was like, I'm going to find a way to use it this week. And I was going to try to find a way to make hoity-toity work. It needs a break. I worked so much on it towards the end of 2019 that I just have decided it needs a little bit of a break. I'm not shelving it. I have tried putting it into Pattern Keeper. But something with my Kindle, it won't keep a charge. I need to go in the settings and fix something. Because literally, like my iPad that I use to stitch with my Apple Pencil, I can go 2 to 3 or maybe even 4 days on a charge. My Kindle Fire does not last anywhere near that long. So anywho, I need to spend some time looking at that. So I was going to use Hoity Toity for my final task in Enchanted Stitching challenges. However, when I pulled it out last night, I was like, no, I need a break. It's on a break for a reason. So I was like, what other project have I not worked on in a while that I'm like jonesing to work on? And that is for sure my Ink Circles Rosetta. And this is a color conversion. We're noticing a theme this week. This is originally charted. It's all in Gloriana silk. And this is by, like I said, Ink Circles. This lives in a So Much to Love Pears bag. And I have somehow managed to cram in here an 8x11 Q-Snap Frankenstein. And this does have a GaRon grime guard, which I kind of think looks, it's tarot, but it looks like stained glass to me. So I have I probably have about 50 more stitches to put in for this week's task. The remainder will be right here, and then I'm going to do a tiny bit of the border, the framing. Which, for those of you that might be new and have not seen this, because I haven't worked on it since before we went to New York in December, I am doing this. All of the frames are charted in Gentle Arts cinders, and then each of the motifs will be in another Gentle Arts. I have already used Verdigris. I am currently working in Dragonfly. The other ones that I will use are Cucumber, Island Blue, Cornhusk, Gold Leaf, Butter Crunch, Bittersweet, Pomegranate, Coral Reef, Geranium, and Pink Azalea. And so each motif will be a different one. I will share this conversion in full as I get a little further along. And then this one has it's a keychain from St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York, and it says St. Patrick's Cathedral, but it is on my floss ring as a little charm, and it's the rose window. Because I have always said that I feel like this looks like rose window patterns in churches. So I was excited to pull this one back out, and I'm going to put in more stitches this weekend towards that task, and then probably some more just because. So yeah, that's a fun one. That one's not going anywhere, and it's not going in timeout. Oh, and I didn't mention that is on 20 count Opalescent Aida in Snert from Mystic Fabrics. That's all the whips. So briefly, plans I've kind of already touched on. Mooring Circles Rosetta, more in Witch's Ride or Joy-Filled Little Ones Ride, View Fairy. If I have time, put a little bit more into the Stitchalong piece. And then starting next week, I am leaving, or I am stepping back from School of Magical Stitches. I have tried to double dip, but keeping up, and I have been successful, except when they don't line up. When the amounts are more in one versus more in the other. This was a prime example. This week, their prompts were different amounts than usual. A lot of times it's 200 stitches a piece. This time it was like a 300, a 300, and a 400. Well, so then when I went over to Enchanted Stitching Challenges and wanted to do the Royal level, which is 250, then I was doing extra stitches, 4 tasks, and then there's always 4. I don't want to say there's always, but so far, historically, there's always 4 tasks. And then you choose how committed you are. And so far, I've liked to be committed at the Royal level, but if I need to drop down and go to 50 stitches, I can do that. Technically, if I wanted to, I could post a picture of Rosetta because I have more than 50 stitches. I just don't have 250 yet. So I am going to step back and stop posting to the challenges in School of Magical Stitches. I'm going to devote more of my energy to Enchanted Stitching Challenges. I am doing 24 hours of cross stitch for the month, the acrostic and the year long, but I don't know that I'm actually going to post in the group. I more have it so for myself. The posting of the pictures has become exhausting on Facebook because you have to wait, and then I've gotten locked several times, and so in my opinion, I'm kind of the opinion that like it's more for me anyway, and so I just have the tracking sheet, and as I'm doing it, I'm checking it off, and I'm like, yes, good for me, woohoo! And then at the end of the month, I can be like, hey, I did it, and it doesn't have to be out there for anybody else. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with that. I already mentioned that Barbara Anna Mondays for this next week will be Funky Bird. And then I have contemplated, I don't know for a fact, but I have contemplated, I have a wheel, a Tiny Decisions wheel on my phone that is, well, I have one that's Barbara Anna Mondays, but I have one that is Flossmas Fridays, or Flossmas. I just hinted at what I'm going with here, which is Flossmas, which were all the Christmas starts I had, plus my other Christmas themed pieces. And I have them all on that wheel. And so my thought was, well, why not Flossmas Friday, FF? I like, alliteration. And why not draw one and I stitch on that for a certain amount of time, like an hour on Fridays? Because Fridays are usually my lowest stitching day. Because Fridays are usually pretty crazy at work. I very rarely even get lunch on Fridays, like a lunchtime stitching time on Fridays. And then by the time I film this, get it uploaded, have dinner. Sometimes I stitch, sometimes I don't. It just depends. So I thought, maybe if I just say, like, I'm going to commit an hour to it, that will help me, because a lot of my Christmas ones are smalls, and that will check some of those off, because I have some things that I'm like looking at going, ooh, that's really cool. Like, I really want to work on that. Meaning new things, but I can't until I get rid of some more. I just can't. I can't. All right, so let's briefly talk a tiny bit of stash acquiring, and then we're done. We're out of here. So as always, we have our joy-filled stashy stash bucket. And so one of the things that I grabbed when I was at Stitch Niche, which I'm not counting as Stitch from Stash, although I am very much in the red. I gotta get some more finishes. I'm in the red even with ooh, Lizzie Kate might do this. Is I have a project I would like to try, and it is it's on banding, and so it's, you know, real skinny and narrow, and it won't fit on a Q-snap, even a 6-inch Q-snap. It won't fit. So I had seen, I was kind of looking out there like what's out there, and I had seen on Vonna Pfeiffer's channel where she showed loading into a roller frame, and I was like, okay, now that could maybe work, a roller frame. And so it happened that when I was at the Stitch Niche, I was like, you know what, let me look and see what all they have. They had whole baskets of both the stretcher, like the stretcher bars, like the side bars, and then the top and bottom bars. And so I bought what was the smallest combination they had, because my banding is no wider than 7 inches. I think my widest banding I might work with would be 7. And so I got, these are 7-inch this way and 8-inch this way. And it's really nice because they have written 8-inch and they have written 7-inch. And then the one thing I learned from her tutorial is you put the black with the black and the red with the red. You'll match them. And then this is a needle minder. It's a magnet. So this is a roller frame. So verdict's still out because I have not had a chance to hit myself in the head with the roller frame. But it's really light. So from what I've seen of her, she can get it as tight as a Q-snap. I believe her because she is incredible. But I'm excited to try it out myself. I'm not starting those yet. Today? Tomorrow maybe? Probably not. So anyway, but since I was there and I did not know I was going to be coming back on Thursday, and they had the 2 smallest sizes, I went, I'll get them. And so I don't think supplies count against Stitch from Stash. If they do, I'll count it. At the end of the year, I'm probably going to be in the red, but I will be far better off than I was last year. That is my ultimate goal, is not to maybe be in the black, but to, 1, focus on finishing things and focus on spending less. And in fact, I have dropped out of several of my clubs that I started at the beginning of the year because I realized I have no more space in my drawers, in my fabric drawers. They is full. Plus, I have also found that I am loving certain types of fabrics versus others. So on my first trip to the Stitch Niche, other than the roller frame, I purchased this Teresa Kogut pattern. This is Prey. And what drew me to this is I had been watching Jan Hicks Creates do the other angel, but she showed this prayer card. And what was on the back and she read off that prayer card resonated with me. And so I knew that this is one because I had seen it in her shop. So I went ahead and snagged it. I actually had all the DMC, so it is kitted. And I'm going to be stitching this whenever I start it on 28 count, the tea-dyed Monaco. That's just the Charles Craft. I had a big tube of it. I found at like somebody's garage sale. And I think it's going to be really pretty. It's not completely full coverage. Her wing, herself, and her halo are. But this little bit right here and this little bit right here and right here is not. And so I think it's going to look nice if it's, you know, kind of that muted earthiness. So anyway, I'm excited to try that. This is the piece that Gary and I are sharing. And this is the, it's Fabric Flair's Berkshire Hive 28 count. I believe it's an even weave. It is a printed, so meaning it's plain on the back. Printed on this side. And I am going to, I have this idea to use this. When I get Quilting Bees finished, my reward for finishing Quilting Bee will I get to start, I'm going to start Sleeping Bee. And I thought, how cute would this be with Sleeping Bee on it? Looks like a beehive. So he had a similar thought when he was doing his bee Bee Berry, which, by the way, I have a couple berry patterns, and he's enabled me to want to start one of those, because I have a couple of the Dying to Stitch Club ones from last year that somebody was destashing, and I bought months ago or something. Oh, and I am in that club, so I'll be getting those too. So I added that piece specifically for that project. When I was there on Thursday, I noticed that she had the Lizzie Kate yearbooks, so I went ahead and picked up the next one. Like, I have January, February, March, April, I believe. Went ahead and picked up May, June. These do come with, now granted the charms are stuck to the chart, so I can't show you. These are great because they have 2 charts and 2 charms. So this one has, May has a shovel, and June has a bee, I believe. It's really tiny. Yeah, oh no, a dragonfly. A shovel and a dragonfly. Cute little gold charms. And they show that you can stitch them all in one line. I am doing them individually. And I have enough fabric, I believe, to do 6 of them. And then I will have to buy more, but it's 32 count vintage country mocha. So that's pretty readily available, I believe. Here's one that Gary finished that I purchased. Thank you, Gary. Although it's so cute. In person, it's like even more cute. And this is Plum Street Samplers Merry Friends. It's part of the Jack's Sweet Shop. And that Santa is fantastic with his little snowman buddy. And so I went ahead and picked up, it actually calls for R&R American Chestnut, and they had it. So I picked up a piece that will be enough for that. Plus extra, I think. And then I happened to be chatting about how I was not pleased with my super stiff fabric that rack stack is on. And I only have just that one pair of little reindeer legs. And I said, ugh. I had such a hard time when I was getting ready to start it finding Mermaid's Brew. And Kim was like, we have it. And I was like, let me see it. And so she showed it to me and I was like, okay, give me a piece. So I got and this is a terrible, there, that's better. Let me put this by it. So it's not quite as boom out there as that Riviera Aqua, but it is so much nicer. Like, it's still got stiffness, but it won't stand up on its own. Like that first piece of fabric. All right, so the only other things I have to share, no, I have 3 things left. I got my Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month. I signed up for a 6-month gift or like the 6-month prepay, and I'm doing 36 count Edinburgh linen, 13 by 17. And the color this month is Camelot, and it's beautiful. I did the neutrals. Sorry, I guess I should have said that. I did neutrals. So I got that. I did, when So Much to Love posted around the 1st of the month, their leftover bags of the month. I went ahead and purchased December's because I loved it. I'm a sucker for cardinals of any kind. So I went ahead and grabbed this bag, which is beautiful. I did get my January bag, and then I contacted and said I have to back out for the remainder of the year. I will try to grab what I can in the shop, but I can't commit to it every month. I just realized that I have a lot of bags, and I need to stop buying bags. Plus, I'm in the GaRon Tottenbags bag of the month, and I want to stay in that one. So I'm probably going to be destashing some things, destashing some pouches and stuff, and some bags that I'm not like compelled to have. Not my GaRon, and probably not any of my So Much to Love. So it comes with usually a chart. No, I say usually, but it came with a chart, and this one is the Floss Box Cardinal Days, which I think is really cute. It's got some little sheep, got a cardinal. It came with a beautiful 8-yard skein of Color and Cotton in Bean Cherry. It came with a precious Cardinal needle minder. This month came in a little red and white polka dot. And then a pack of Christmas morning black tea. So that was cute little sussies in there. So bringing that up, saying about destashing some things. I will be posting some more things on the destash next week. Probably next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend. If there was something you claimed recently, I have not forgotten about you. I promise, and I've said that before in a video. I'm going to get those taken care of if you are still interested. If you have claimed something, if there's somebody who claimed the Color and Cotton mystery box items, if you don't want those anymore, cool. That's awesome. I am going to probably go in and mark some things down. I'm going to have some new stuff. I just have to take pictures. There's a lot of things with that. Okay, the last thing, and this does not count Stitch from Stash because I bought it back in November. And it just came from over this across the pond. So this is my Bags Plus binder. Can you even, I got to pick my Tula. So of course I picked the All-Star Furry Friend, the All-Star Squirrely Squirrel. He's amazing. It's turquoise, it's pink, it's everything. It's a huge binder. So if you've not seen this, she does 2 of these binders as a set. Well, she did a special during Michelle Bendy Stitchy's live sale where you could purchase 1. So I purchased 1 with a separate intent than what these were. If you have 2 of these with the 6 sleeves, it will hold an entire set of DMC. So that's not my plan for this, I don't think. We shall see. So when you open it though, it's really cool. Because see, like the cover kind of locks in. So if you're holding it, it's not actually, like it doesn't want to fall open very readily. So it's got these slits. It's a 2-ring binder. I'm going to try my best to do this. A 2-ring binder. It has like a locking mechanism right here that holds the pages. And then you open it by pulling this up, I believe. I've worked with it a little bit. But inside it has, and I'm actually going to pull one of these out. It has 6 of these pages that have 48 slots, Floss Buddy slots. And in the back is a Velcro. And this piece is not wanting to, I'm going to have to do a little re-stickiness. A slot to put project materials, loose threads, whatever you want to in here. So my thought is, how awesome would this be to either keep 6 different projects in here with their coordinating flosses and things. My other thought was, okay, great idea. I thought, okay, well, I could put some of my fancy flosses in here with different pages for different ones. My other thought was, this would be great to take when you go places, stitch. I feel like I'm like a boom box. Boom, chugga, boom, chugga, boom. Like, put your project with its flosses, and then all you have to walk into your retreat with, that's because I'm going to go to so many retreats now, walk in with your binder. Wouldn't that be cool? And you could even have, like, you could even go in and put, like, a notions pouch up here in the front. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It came today. I was like, so thank you to Karina. Thank you for your ingenuity. Thank you to Michelle for offering the live sale. And I'm really excited. So it will have something. I'll show it when I figure out what it's going to do. I will show it. But I just had to show it today. So I think that's it for us today. So if you're sticking with me, I guess I should say thanks to all of you who come back week to week, who sit and listen to me blither blather on about life and cross stitching and every other thing, and seem to like who I am. I mean, it's just the comments are fantastic. I did have one that was, bless her heart, I'm gonna be texting, bless her heart. She said she could no longer watch me because I had too many projects. Watch my whip parade. Too many projects. And if I would just spend more time on less things, I would get more accomplished. And I was like, oh, you solved all my problems. But I did say thank you for your feedback. You did pick probably the wrong video of mine to watch if you don't want to see lots of projects with just moderate amounts of progress. I said I would encourage you, if you like who I am or my voice or my style or what I'm stitching, watch a weekly update because I show far less projects in one given video. But you know what? If you are like, peace out, I don't like who you are, I don't like what you're about, I don't like what you stitch, I wish you all the best. But if you continue to stick in here with me, I love you. I think you're worth amazing quantities of joy in your life that should come to you. I'm not rocking a top knot for once. I still have a messy bun of some sort, but I don't have my hair up in a knot on the top of my head. So I hope that if you're here, it's because you like what I do, you like my goofiness, you like my quirkiness, and don't expect me to fit into some mold, because that's not who I am. I'm just Annie. That's just me. Just a gal from Texas who likes to sing burst into song occasionally, who likes to show lots of cross-stitchy things, who likes to be a bit of an enabler, who likes to be enabled, and thinks this community is rockin' awesome. That is the bottom line. So, if you've hung in here with me, we might be under an hour again this week. I don't know. We'll see. When it all comes to fruition, when I put it in iMovie, we'll see. But I really do appreciate you coming back week after week. I appreciate you listening to me chitter chatter and watching my cross stitch and giving me feedback. Oh, hey, if you are interested in if you are new and you like Pass the Stash, you like Dinky Dies, you like mandalas, head back to video number 35. I am doing a Pass the Stash of a beautiful mandala pattern that comes with 3 full skeins of Dinky Dies. It's beautiful, but it's just not my jam. And I have a lot, and I'm going to be passing a lot on to other folks. Then I would recommend you go back to that video, you comment what I've asked you to comment, and enter to win, because I will draw that next week. Hey, by the way, thanks for all your awesome comments last week on the bags. That filled my heart with so much happiness. I could not. And it was the first time I said to my husband, now I get what people say about not being able to keep up with the comments, because y'all lit up that video with comments. And it sent me over the moon. Over the moon. Over the moon. So, whip cards are officially up in the Etsy shop. I did post her on my Instagram. Link is below. So those are up. If you want to know more info about the whip cards, that was also in video 35. Hello Beautiful will be up this week. I needed some time to work on cover images and things like that. You can see it is hanging up. A little wonky, but it's hanging. HL Moth will hopefully be up next week. And I need something here if I continue to film. I also am going to talk to my husband about getting better lighting in this overhead light, because the one in my office is awesome. Same color paint, but this always comes up more warm. The other one's more cool. So we're gonna chat about that this weekend. So, anywho, now I've rambled. We're gonna be over an hour because I rambled. But anyway, have a great week. I was trying to lean in to tell you goodbye, and then I'm sitting here, remember, you got a remote in your hand. Have a good week. Have a joy-filled week. Because I'm Joy-Filled Stitcher. I'm Joy-Filled Annie. And I wish you all the best. Wish you happy stitching, and see you soon. Bye, friends.